Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amber. Today I wanted to do a book haul of everything that I've gotten over the last 2 months. I noticed that the last time I did a book haul, it wasn't even a full book haul video, it was just a mini haul, but that's been 2 months and I've gotten quite a few. I've gotten about 18 books since then. So I just want to do a little sit down video. I have one more coming in the mail today. I got it online. It's a blind date with a book. So I don't even know what book it's going to be, but I figured once that gets here, I'll sit back down and I'll do another little opening of that. This is going to be in no order. I just randomly piled them over here, so we'll just go through them one at a time. So starting off, I got the special edition of Fourth Wing. I mainly wanted it to be matching with this, and I really loved the red cover on this one. So it was really just an impulse buy because I absolutely loved Fourth Wing. There was no reasoning behind it. There was no reason I needed this. Next up is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the second book in the Empyrean series. First one being Fourth Wing. So I got these to go together. Next up, I got this one for Christmas. This is Night of the Witch by Sarah Rosh and Beth Revis. I honestly don't really know what this is about at all. I don't even remember where I saw it that made me want it, but I'll read the back. It says, "When I turn around, we are no longer Fritzy and Odo. We are Witch and Hunter, and it is time." Oh, I think I remember this now. So this one is a witch who is like the only survivor of her coven, is trying to find the last remaining members of her family, and there is this group of witch hunters that she's like trying to avoid, and the other character in here, Otto, is one of those witch hunters, but it's all just a ruse because they killed his innocent mother years ago, so he's trying to pretty much infiltrate them, and the two of them get thrown together and they can't trust each other, but they know that they have their common enemy. And then they discover that there is like this horrifying magic plot behind all the attacks that all leads back to this witch hunting group's leader. And there's romance involved, so I'm excited for this one. Next up, I ended up getting The Gilded Cage and the Blood Trader, which is the second and third book to the Prison Healer series. I ended up really enjoying the first one, and I have heard that it gets better as it goes on. So I can't wait to get to these ones. Especially the way the first book ended, I was not expecting it. It had such a huge plot twist that, yeah, there was no hint towards that whatsoever. I really need to get to that next one. Then we have Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is the second one in the Letters of Enchantment series, the first one being Divine Rivals. This one you're still following Iris and Roman. A lot happened in this. I don't know, there's no word of another book coming out, but they definitely left this where it could have been wrapped up, but there's also potential for another one. I don't really know if there's going to be another one, but I did really enjoy this book. I already read it. I read this as soon as I got it. Then we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I have not read a book by them, and I'm excited to get to this one. This one is about a woman named Lenora. She is thought to have been the one that killed her whole entire family because she's the only one that survived. And now she is elderly. She's in a wheelchair, and due to a series of strokes, she can't talk. And Kit comes to take care of her since the last in-home nurse left in the middle of the night. And Lenora ends up telling her that she's not the one that did it. And as she starts writing out the events that happen, Kit starts realizing that there's more to the story than people understand. But it also starts coming into light why the previous home care nurse left, and she's realizing that this woman isn't as harmless as she appears. I have heard a lot of good things on this, and I really want to read it. I just need to get in the mood for it. Then we have A Fragile Enchantment by Allison Saft. I got the Barnes & Noble special edition because I really liked the color changes that they did. The cover is still the same as the original, but they changed the colors to where they're more of like a springy pastel color versus the original is more of like a muted, I think it's more like a darker green and orange, I believe is like the other main color that's on the other one. Either way, they're both really pretty covers. I just enjoyed the more pastel colored version, so that's why I got this. This one is a magical dressmaker ends up getting hired to do the royal wedding and make their clothes. And while she's there, she ends up becoming pretty close with the prince. But then a gossip columnist ends up leaking about their close chemistry that they have going on, and it kind of spirals from there. So this one sounded super interesting. This is a YA fantasy, I believe. I love the way it looks. Plus, the inside cover looks really good, and I love these end pages. It's just such a pretty book. Next up, I got Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. All her other books are YA fantasy, and I have not personally read any of her other books, but I know that Shadowhunter series by her is extremely popular. I just never ended up reading them, but I am excited for this one. The top of it says, "Forbidden love, dangerous magic, and a secret that could break the kingdom. Let the chronicles of Castlane begin." This one says, Kel is an orphan stolen from the life he knew to become a sword catcher, the body double of a royal heir, Prince Connor Aurelian. He has been raised alongside the prince, trained in every aspect of combat and statecraft. He and Connor are as close as brothers, but Kel knows that his destiny is to die for Connor. No other future is possible. Lynn Castor is one of the Ashgar, a small community whose members still possess magical abilities. By law, they must live behind walls within the city, but Lynn, a physician, ventures out to tend to the sick and dying of Castlane. Despite her skills, she cannot heal her best friend without access to forbidden knowledge. After a failed assassination attempt brings Lynn and Kel together, they are drawn into the web of the mysterious Ragpicker King, the criminal ruler of Castellane's underworld, who offers them each what they want most. But as the two descend into his world of intrigue and shadow, they discover a conspiracy of corruption that reaches from the darkest gutters of Castlane to the highest tower of its palaces. As long-kept secrets begin to unravel, they must ask themselves, is knowledge worth the price of betrayal? Can forbidden love bring down a kingdom? And will their discoveries plunge their nation into war and the world into chaos? Again, another one I'm excited for. I'm excited for pretty much every single book on my TBR. I just keep adding to my TBR, and so I never get to them. But then I picked up Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. I don't even know why I picked this up. I think I just saw it and was like, that looks faintly familiar, I'm just going to get it. This one's 10 women, a deadly contest, only one can win the Sun King's heart. As Lore has endured 12 long years of torment under the Aurora King's rule, her only desire is to escape and pay him back for every moment of misery she's endured. When a surprise release finds her in the hands of the rival Sun King, Lore is thrust into the spotlight as she competes against 9 other tributes for the role of queen. If she wins his heart, she'll earn her freedom and finally get her revenge. But Lore doesn't belong in the Sun Queen trials. Not only does she not understand why she was freed, she isn't a citizen of the Sun King's court. The other tributes resent her presence and will stop at nothing to ensure Lore is removed from the competition permanently. Now Lore must win, because if she loses, she dies, or worse, she'll be returned to the evil and now vengeful Aurora King. Okay. Interesting. Next up, I pre-ordered this a long time ago, and I actually saw this in Target and was going to buy it because I didn't even remember that I pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble, and then like 2 days later it showed up in the mail. I think it might just be me, but to me that sounds like a problem. But I'm not willing to admit that it's a problem, and I'm also not willing to change it, so. Come for the show, stay for the magic. Enter at your own risk and discover the greatest show unearthed in this explosive, darkly imaginative debut fantasy. For humans, the circus is a place filled with wonder and amazement. For Harrow, though, it's a place to hide from those who slaughtered her entire clan. Disguising her abilities as part of her act has kept her true identity safe for years, until he arrives. A strange new attraction with no name, no memory of who or even what he is, let alone an explanation for his odd yet deadly powers. But beneath the layers of anger and isolation, one glimpse into his inky eyes reveals a soul that calls out to the loneliness of her own. And so she chooses him. Harrow is drawn into the darkness to her insatiable need to soothe the beast who threatens their very existence. But with every secret she unlocks from his past, another from hers whispers free as well, luring enemies who will stop at nothing to get their final revenge on Harrow, and she's afraid she's given them the perfect weapon against her because he's not what he seems. But maybe it's time they finally learn neither is she. Now I remember why I pre-ordered that. Then I picked up Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is actually probably going to be my next read. I'm in middle of reading Glint right now, and I'm 60% of the way through. And I had put up on my Instagram poll this or Glint, and it ended with 50-50, so I'll probably pick this up next. But this book has gone viral. I think everybody has heard of this book at one point or another, and every single time I see a post about this, it makes me want to immediately pick it up. So I need to just finally do that. This one is about a girl who doesn't have any powers, and the elite that have powers are the ones who rule, and if you are considered ordinary with no powers, then you are shunned and kicked from the kingdom. And this girl, Peyton, is posing as a psychic so she can live with the elites, but then she ends up getting thrown into a trial to showcase their powers. And she's thrown into that trial after she unsuspectingly saves one of the princes, Kai, which, based on the back of this, and I've tried to avoid any form of spoilers for this book on posts, but by the sounds of the way the back of this is saying, it sounds as if Kai kills ordinaries, because the ending of this says if the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for will, if he discovers what Peyton is, completely ordinary. If that's the case, and he's supposed to kill her, but they have feelings for each other, hello? I need to read that book ASAP. Okay, these last ones that I got for Christmas, I had my husband go to Barnes & Noble with me, which he is not a reader, and I had him pick. It was supposed to be one book from the fantasy section and one book from the romance section. First, from the romance section, he picked The Rebel King by Kennedy Ryan, which I've never read a book by them, and I didn't think before buying this of looking to make sure that this wasn't part of a series. And I got home and I started reading this, and I got like 50 pages in it, and I was so confused on what was going on. And I was about to just be like, I'm DNFing this because this book makes no sense. Like, it felt like I was thrown into the middle of the story, which I was, because I didn't think to look first. So I'm listening to the audiobook currently of the first one of this. I couldn't really tell you what's going on because I don't know how I feel about the book. I'm pretty sure I'm like 50% of the way through the first one, and I just don't really know. I don't know how I feel about it. I'll probably end up reading this, but I don't really know. It just depends on how the first one keeps going, because that one was kind of weird at the start. I don't know. Anyway, from the fantasy section, he picked The Hobbit for me because I absolutely love The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings movies, but I've never read the books. So he picked this for me, but then, I figured if I'm gonna be reading The Hobbit, I might as well read the Lord of the Rings trilogy also. So I got the box set to that too. So I really want to get to this one fairly soon, because I did just get done doing another rewatch of all of these movies. So I think it's finally time to read those too. Well, I waited for my blind date with a book to come in the mail, and it said that it was not deliverable. So we won't be opening that in today's video, but that's fine. The next video that I make, I will just put that as like a little opening to figure out what book we got. But that is all I have for you today. Please leave a little snowflake down below just to let me know that you guys made it this far. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all my future videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!